Welcome to CSEC Biology, the cover page. I am Mr. Wilson, and today we're going to be looking at the mark scheme. We're looking at the mark scheme for diffusion, and the skill to be tested here is analysis and interpretation, and it is denoted with the letters AI. The aim for the lab is to determine how temperature affects the rate of diffusion in liquid. If you have not yet liked, share, or subscribe, it is indeed time for you to do so. And when you do subscribe, please be reminded to hit that notification bell and select all so you'll be notified as soon as there is a new publication. So we're looking at criteria, marks allotted, marks earned, and of course the moderator mark. Now we're going to be going through the criteria first. Now, the first thing you want to have in the AI lab is your background knowledge. It's important to note here that all the skills are different. So we're looking at PD, ORR, MM, drawing. All the skills are different and they require a particular skill set in order to score full marks. So I encourage you to go on over to my channel, CSEC Biology, the cover page, and ensure that you watch the videos on the skills so you can earn full marks. So the first thing here is background knowledge, and this is like a little literature review of the content you are covering. You want to ensure that you see a little bit that is scientifically proven about the topic. Then you're going to go on down to the explanation of observation, the experiment that you did and the finding that you have. Can you explain it? Why did this happen? So you're looking at the which, the where, the why, the when, and providing all that scientific explanation so as to ensure that you are scoring full marks for this point of the criteria. And of course, you are able to move on and of course provide great clarity on this part of the lab. Now, 4 marks is allotted here. However, you are going to be looking at 3 samples that you had with different temperatures. And one of the things about the 3 samples is that you're going to be explaining all that there is to know within the ambits of CXC within this little mark here. So it will be marked 2 for each and it will be scaled to 4. Now the formula for the calculation is written right below the statement here. So of course this statement could help you to grade this area of the lab. The next thing you want to do is to do a little reflection on how the knowledge garnered from the experiment of course influence activity in the real world. So you're going to be providing some explanation here. The lab should not be this thing that is done in the lab and it is abstract and has no meaning to the real world. All the experiments that you're doing in science, they have real scientific worth in the real world. So you want to understand this diffusion experiment and your findings. How does it impact life on a whole? Right? So you want to ensure that whatever you're writing here, it can be scientifically tested, it is scientifically proven, and of course, you would find some more meaning doing the lab if you were supposed to do this. Another thing you need to note here is that the marks allotted for this lab, for this portion of the lab, is pretty much 3, 2, and 1. You're going to be providing explanation, and then you are going to be citing at least 2 examples to support your finding. Then we move on down to conclusion. And the conclusion is pretty much that point that settles your finding as it relates to the aim and your observation. So the conclusion would pretty much inform you as to what is my final position on what I wanted to find out. And this is informed by my observation in the lab. Now, usually 1 mark is allotted for this part of the lab, but because we are assessing 3 skills with the same lab, we did not put 1 mark for conclusion. However, if you leave a conclusion out here, you are going to be losing a mark. So of course, if we're going to be using a mark for the lab, all we need to do is to move 1 mark down, from how does the knowledge garner from the experiment. Move that mark down, conclusion, and of course you'll have the 1 mark there. Then the final thing we're going to be having there is limitation. What are those stuff that could have impacted the lab negatively and could have caused the result not to be that which you expected? So any factor that could affect the accurate outcome of the experiment is captured in this part of your analysis and interpretation, the part that is considered to be the limitation. If you have not yet, it might be just good time for you to go on over to my channel and watch some of the labs that we have there, watch lab report that is written up, and of course explain and watch the skills. Now please be reminded to like, share, and of course subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, ensure that you hit that notification bell so that you will be informed as soon as there is a new publication. I am Mr. Wilson from CSEC Biology, the cover page. It has been my pleasure sharing with you Mark's scheme on diffusion. Look out for our other series and ensure you follow the channel